Hello, how are you? Thank you, I'm fine too. Okay, do you see those red flowers? Or maybe they are, I don't know. Um, Perhaps weeds. And it has a little bit of poisons, I guess, but then some people like them. In English, they are called clustered amarellas. Cluster means a bunch or the group. It doesn't mean any infection included, so don't make a mistake. For example, you can say a cluster of flowers or a cluster of grapes, and these are called cluster umbrellas. Aren't they beautiful? Okay, today's idioms. The first one is to have it, and for. It means to dislike, to hold a grudge, usually against somebody, or waiting for an opportunity for revenge. So it's pretty vicious. For example, okay, it's kind of like unfortunate, but I expect to lose my job because the boss has had it for me for a long time. So that means my boss doesn't like me, so he's been waiting the chance to fire me or something like that. My goodness. If that happened, what am I going to do? Help me. The next is, next sentence would be I say, okay, the members of this group have had it in for her, a particular her, since the time that she insulted others over years. So that means those members are waiting for a chance to get rid of this person because she's a vicious person and they don't like her. This kind of things happen. And sometimes they call it like a power game or power harassment. But this time they're talking about simple revenge against this particular person. Vicious, isn't it? The next idiom is to have it out with. It means to quarrel with, usually somebody. Confront. Bring into the open. For example, okay, I have suspected him of lying for a long time, and the next week we are going to have it out with him to reveal, what kind of lie he's been telling many of us. So we've got to get rid of him. The next sentence would be, let's say, okay, instead of waiting for the owner of my apartment to deal with the trouble of the broken air conditioners in my apartment, I think it's better to have it out with the situation by myself. Perhaps sooner the better. Just because nothing is going to happen. And in the meantime, automatically he makes me, or the contractor makes me pay the rent for something that he should have done it for my apartment a long time ago, which he has been neglecting. And in the meantime, I have to pay the rent. For what? Thank you very much. Now, today's words. The first one is, okay, morsel It means a small bite. Or a mouthful. Or let's say a tiny amount of something. For example, okay, when I went into one of my favorite restaurants back in California, I pledged to eat every morsel of my favorite Mexican food plate. Let's say. Okay. Next sentence. My cousin was reluctant to try even a morsel of Japanese raw food when she visited here. She would not touch anything which is not familiar with her life, I guess. Well, I'm sorry. She doesn't know what she's been missing. Okay, the next sentence. If they ever had a morsel of intelligence, they sure would be uneasy about attending the meeting led by her as well. Do you know what I mean? Next word is quota. That means share of a total Q from or a particular state, district, person, etc. For example, the company revealed a quota of jobs reserved for those who lost their jobs during the COVID-19 turmoil. Another sentence, let's say, there was a quota placed on the number of people who could immigrate to Europe from Africa. Okay, the last word for today is threat. Threat means the sign or cause of possible evil or, let's say, harm, damages. For example, okay, there is always the hurried threat that temporary jobs will be abolished. So many people look for steady jobs, jobs, instead of part-time jobs because they're not stable. But I don't know which is better. Next sentence. Okay. Well, I think it's absurd to think that a tiny virus called COVID-19 could be a serious threat to the world, yet it actually has happened. Life is mysterious. Okay, that's all for today. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.